Well, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Over the Top. This is your boy Sauce Boss. I'm here with the fellas at Ring Bell Radio. I've got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Chris Page. Chris, how we doing, buddy?
I'm better than a hand job. How about that?
Oh, it's hard to beat, man.
I'm
Uh,
saying, brother, we're coming in hot on a Thursday night, man. I'm here for it.
yeah, we are coming in hot tonight. We've got some tasty morsels for the listeners. So, if this is your first time checking us out on the Twitch stream, thanks for coming around. If you're not following us on Twitch yet, please do. Just head on over. It's I believe it's Overthetopnetwork on Twitch. But I should add that it's not just Chris and I tonight. The glorious Mandingo Man Beast, Mr. John the Beast Cable, is back with us. John, we missed you like the desert misses the rain.
Oh, and I missed the
The
rain.
glorious Mandingo Man Beast.
Figures. It figures. It figures. My first night back. Here we go. Here we go. No, it's good to be back. I missed you guys too. I've got a lot of stuff going on, so we've been trying to get back to this and get some things straightened out so that this is even possible. And I'm just happy to be back and join you guys and talk about stuff again and just hang out and shoot the shit and enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, John, you came back on a great day because there's a lot going on. Of course, this is WrestleMania weekend coming up in WWE, so we're going to get to that a little bit later. But first, a big announcement tonight. And I don't know how much you guys know about this, but tell me, what do you know about Arcadia? Does that ring a bell?
I have been disconnected for a week and a half, so I have no idea about anything happening on Twitter. I came back today and there was just stuff everywhere. It was crazy.
Perfect. Chris, how about you?
I know a little bit. I know Candace, obviously, and I had a conversation about it. The whoever's behind the event, the mysterious benefactor of Arcadia, hit her up. I saw the message, so sounds like several people were hit up, and whatever's happening here is interesting to a degree, but there's also some mystique and some mystery behind it. Ultimately, I don't know a whole lot outside of that. I got a screenshot of a message, and that's about all I've seen from it.
Well, that's what we're here for tonight. We're going to do a deep dive here on what Arcadia is. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't know. I'm not an insider on this project. I'm not involved with the planning, with the design.
Again, we are not professionals. We are just speculating here, and all things that we say are just products of dumbassery.
That's right.
And, yeah.
I put on my best journalist. I put on my journalism hat today and decided.
Got your press tag out of the drawer, man.
That's right. I got my press credentials together and I grabbed my microphone and did as much research as I could in a short amount of time to crack the case on what this event is all about. So I am ready to present some limited details.
That said, he got his press credentials, he got his microphone, but he forgot the tape recorder.
That's right. So all of this is according to a source, an unnamed source close to the event. I have lots of information to disseminate, to distribute to our audience.
The Sauce Boss has his own deep throat, and now he's got things to disseminate. This is not going well already.
That's right.
We're 3 minutes in, guys.
Yeah. So I'm ready to go for it here. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's go back in time. I think about 2 weeks ago was the first time that I heard about this Arcadia, and it started with, I guess it was an instant message, a direct message. So they slid into my DMs and said, "Hey, Mr. Sauce, Mr. Boss, we would like you to be part of this exclusive event, right? This is the word of the day is exclusive. Anytime you hear it, scream real loud,
it is.
okay?
It is as loud as you possibly can, because I really feel like I've seen this message just with Candace's name at the top of it.
Now, keep in mind for those viewing at home,
Identical. So
keep in mind that for those viewing at home, exclusive has a very defined term. It's a term. It's a word. It has a meaning. An exclusive just means that, well, there's only so many spaces and only so many people get in. So if it's the most exclusive, it means it has to have the least amount of slots available, right? Hi, Lexi.
That's right. Hey, we got Lexi Gold in the chat. Lexi, thanks for coming around.
Thank you for being a friend and a ray of sunshine.
That's right. That's right. The gold standard is in the house. We're official now. I don't think that this live stream counts until Lexi makes an appearance. So happy to have her here.
Now, so here we are.
That's right. So we're talking about exclusive, and the Saw spouse and I are in an exclusive arrangement here. We are, it's private, right? It's just for special people. It's you have to be of quality stock in order to get into a partnership, an arrangement, a relationship such as this, and that's what Arcadia is pushing, right? This is the brand right now, exclusivity. That's what they're selling, which I can appreciate, right? The World Series of Wrestling exclusive event, 32 seats only. And Chris, you have an invite here, and John, you still have a ticket to hand out.
I very much do, and have been scouted.
But it's not as exclusive as Arcadia.
No, it's about half as exclusive as Arcadia. So as we said before, 18 seats on that bus. And we don't know who's got any of them. So I get a message 2 weeks ago. They say, hey, we would love for you to be part of Arcadia. We would like you to promote it in some way, provide accommodations or, do something to contribute to the event. And while I'm usually the first one to say, hell yeah, I don't know how to say no to a good time. The added twist of a non-disclosure agreement was thrown in, and that's when it scared me off. Have you guys ever had to sign an NDA before?
Not over a fucking hobby.
Not over anything. I refuse to do so.
Well, my first question was, no, dude, I'm not going to sign an NDA. And the response was, well, it's in character. It's an in-character NDA. Which does make it better, but I still said no. What would you guys have said?
Well,
yeah, I don't do NDAs for any reason.
I'll tell you this. So when Candace and I had our conversation about it, she shot me over the screenshot. She said, "I don't know who to talk to. I don't know who it is."
Well, let me stop you there. For people who don't know the background, explain who Candace is.
Candace, Velvet Rabbit, the figurehead, and my in-character wife. Very influential, character-wise in the game, obviously. So she and I, we talk fairly frequently, and we always discuss like what we're doing with our characters. And she showed me the message, right? And she's like, "Well, I was going to send them to you," and and this is no disrespect, and whoever's behind this is probably listening to this, and I don't intend for this to be disrespectful at all. I said no, thank you, I left it at that. And I don't know what she decided to do. We didn't follow back up on it. But if I was involved in it, and it was, hey, you got to know that's. I'm not doing all that. I don't think it's that important.
I can see like remaining behind the kayfabe curtain and not blowing the cover of the show for the purposes of marketing Mystique, but to literally approach someone in character or out of character with an NDA is like, I don't know what that really means to a EFED hobby. Like,
Exactly, and that's how I felt as well. Was hey, I'm not quite sure I know what that means. Like, what is this thing? Because you don't want to commit to something and not know what it is. So I wanted more information, and they weren't willing to share any more information at the time, which I can respect because they wanted to be secretive about it, and
but that's also like realistically approaching you and expecting you not to make a story about it is like going to Lois Lane and being like, "Hey, I know who Superman is."
well, it's very possible that they don't know how much of an asshole I am.
Well, I mean, it's not even that. It's just you produce EFED news. You have a show about it. Like, that's what you do. You don't go to the reporter with a story and be like, all right, look, I want to bring you in on it, but you can't say anything because
Right.
I'm going to make you sign a contract. Yeah, it's just kind of silly.
Well, here I am spilling the beans on this, and like I said before, I do have a source, and that source has leaked to me an internal document about the event, which I would like to share with you guys. Are you game? Are you curious?
Well, I mean, of course I'm curious.
Chris, I know you're curious.
Sure, why not?
Okay, here we go. Can you see this? Do you got a good shot here?
Yeah, I got it.
So this is an internal document which is supposed to be held under lock and key until April 3rd. So we've accessed a document that's top secret, I suppose, about an event that's supposed to take place on May 26th, 2023. Of course, it's the most exclusive event of the year. Exclusive. And it is the destination for said event is the Maldives, which I'm not familiar with the Maldives. Have you guys been before?
Maldives, no, I've never been, but the Maldives is really famous for being like an island destination for the rich and influential. They've got a lot of sway and money and shit.
Yes, and if you look at some of the content that they've listed for it,
yep,
I mean,
there's
it is there. That's the one right there. I think this is probably the best representation of what to expect. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's also remote, right? If somebody wants to kill you on this island, there's nowhere to run. Which, this is what gives me pause about the entire experience, is that they have promised that this event will be luxurious and that they will spare no expense. I don't know who's funding this, right? So we don't know where the money's coming from. But what if they don't deliver and you just end up on a deserted island with nothing? Are either of you familiar with the Fyre Festival?
Vaguely.
Yes.
Yes? That's a yes?
Yes.
So if you're not, and you're watching from home, watch the documentary on Netflix or Hulu. There's two separate documentaries because it was that much of a shit show when it happened. It was supposed to be a highly exclusive 3-day festival for the super elite, for models and for influencers, for celebrities, for musicians. Lots of promises were made, and the marketing was phenomenal. It was, it's a master class on how to market an event. Ja Rule was a big part of it. He was part of the planning committee and was later sued over it. But the whole premise of that experience was that this 3-day event, you were going to sleep on the island. They had a grotto set up where you could stay there, and it was going to be beautiful. Originally, it was supposed to be on an island which was supposed to be like a drug runner island.
Pablo Escobar.
Escobar, yes. It was supposed to be Escobar's island. So they flew a bunch of models out there, and they did a photo shoot. There were wild pigs swimming in the water with them, and they're all beautiful and happy and having a great time. And that's what they sold. And the tickets to this thing were over $10,000 each, right? So the average bum like me is not going to this event. It is strictly influential people.
I would never even consider something like that.
No, but some people, they see the word exclusive and they go, "That's me. I'm exclusive. I'm elite."
exclusive. Anyone who's anyone will be there, and I
That's
must
right.
be there.
They're like, "Look, my dad is famous. I have to be famous, and I have to go to this thing, and I have to document every moment of it. This was going to be a highly documented experience." So the problem that happened is that the folks that were promoting the event were not great at running events. And they did a terrible job of booking the event. They were not able to get the island that they wanted. So instead, I believe they were in Bermuda or another one of these islands. And they happened to book it the same weekend as a regatta, right? A massive yacht race. So all the resources on the island were already occupied by this regatta. There were no hotel accommodations. There were no flights out. There was nobody to work the event. There was no food on the island. There was nothing for this festival. So when the people get there, they find that the grotto hasn't been built yet. They find that there's no food. They have cheese sandwiches and rice and almost nothing. They have nowhere to sleep.
Hey! You said there were wild pigs. They had food.
No. The wild pigs were on Drug Island. They weren't on this island. This island was was originally supposed to be a housing community, which lost funding and was only partially developed. So they decided they were going to host the event there. And they didn't have enough time or people or resources to set up the event before guests started arriving. So when they got there, there was nothing there for them. Well, the talent heard about this prior to flying out there, and they all started canceling. Blink 182, I think, was the biggest talent that was going to go to this thing. They all start dropping out. They're posting about it on Twitter, on social media. So people going to the event are starting to panic. They've already sunk so much money into this. They're already on the way there. And they don't know what they're going to walk into when they get there. And it's horrible. It's horrible living situation. They're refugees, basically, for 2 whole days. And the whole thing just fell apart. I get the same vibes from this event. Would you be surprised if they're running a goof on us? They're selling this premier exclusive event. Mind you, tomorrow is April Fool's Day. They're running this event just to pull the old, haha, we tricked you into it. You thought you were exclusive, but actually the joke's on you. I get the vibe that this is a anti-elite type party to kind of poke fun at them, and it's going to turn into Horror Island. That's my theory. What do you guys think?
I'll be perfectly honest. I don't really care.
Well, let's pretend like you do care, right? So just keep kayfabe alive here, and
I mean, I don't know. I don't put it past anybody to do anything. I'm not saying it's going to succeed or it's going to fail. I know that I have my own suspicions, right? Like we all want to like guess who's around, right? Like who's behind it.
We're going to get to that. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll reserve judgment and reserve my thoughts until then. John,
yes.
Go ahead.
Yep.
So, all right. What? Maybe successful. Maybe we're looking at successful as the wrong word, because maybe what they want is to. Maybe what they want is to turn it into that Horror Island kind of thing.
I think so. Yeah.
And if that's what they want, and that's what ends up happening, then realistically, isn't that a success?
Gah!
Yes.
I mean,
all right, that's a Matt Knox. He popped in the chat.
Yes, he did. It's been a while, Knox. Thanks for coming around. But John, you're absolutely right. I think this is designed. this is an angle, right? I think that we're being sold one thing, we're going to be delivered something else, and it's going to be entertaining if they pull it off. And it seems like the people who are planning this thing, they've paced it well, they've thought it through, they've put effort into keeping some secrecy around it. I think they'll railroad it the way that they want to. The hardest part here is recruiting 18 people to buy into it.
I think that's already done.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Realistically, no. Hold on. How long does it take you to put 18? How long does it take you to get 18 people to bite on a bait on Twitter for a show like this?
Well, they have contracted out people to promote it, right? They've contracted out influencers, just like Fyre Fest. They said, hey, Kim Kardashian, we want you to change your biopic to an orange square and make people go, what's the orange square? And they look around and they say, oh, Kylie Jenner's also got an orange square. And Ja Rule's got an orange square. And other people have an orange square. And they get, there's buzz about it now. If you go on Twitter, this is something I've seen earlier today, you're going to start seeing this blue circle. Right? And it's a home button. Let's see how far I got to scroll before I see one of these things. Here's one here. Lissy Hope.
Yeah.
Lissy Hope is on board with this thing. Who else do we got? I saw a few of these. Ryan Keto. Artemis Wren. I don't know that name well, but you could probably put in the hashtag ARCADIA. You're going to get there. Vodka Black. There's Arcadia.
We can all be exclusive.
Larry Tact.
See that? The language of that is very, very interesting.
There's a lot interesting about it.
Yeah, so it's an eclectic group of people who run in different
that
groups.
Phrase specifically, like the wording on that phrase specifically was very interesting.
So here's a meme posted by Jonathan Backus. He's changed his name to Jonathan Spoilers Backus. So he says, this is exclusionary bullshit and a circle jerk, which should be treated with contempt and cynicism. And some people may see it that way. Like, oh, you think you're elite. Like, roll my eyes. Like, whatever. But I think that I think people are role-playing. I think they're pretending that they don't know as much as they do.
That meme is hilarious, though.
Yeah, no, this is fire. This is
the fact that it calls out Tact and Seb right there is like, oh, that's Pew Pew, and Corey's in there. Like,
right. So look at the names that are mentioned in here. You got Tact, Sebastian Everett Bryce. You got Corey Black in here.
Yeah, those are Pew Pews if I ever saw them right there.
So there's a lot of name dropping going on. And, I don't know if Jonathan is behind all of this, but he seems to be close to the person that is. And, of course, we know that Candace was involved, and I was also invited. So it seems like a large group.
Wait. Did he just change his picture right there?
This picture?
No, his Bacchus's biopic. Did he go down? He just changed that. That picture is important.
This here?
No. His bio picture is important. Yeah, he just changed that.
This here?
Yes, that's a clue.
This is his RP for Cult Wrestling.
Yeah, but he just changed his profile picture. I just saw it on your feed. It was something else. Now it's that. That picture is a clue.
Oh, this here? This is. I know we're giving Johnny a lot of shine here, but this is
he
his.
Just posted 2 hours ago is his new profile picture.
But this is his gimmick. He's a revolutionary. This kind of looks like Billy Corgan with a beret on.
You think everything looks like Billy Corgan?
I do. Not gonna lie
Just
about that.
Just because you look like Billy Corgan does not mean everything looks like Billy Corgan.
we're gonna move on from that. All right, so there you go. The blue circles. Look out for the blue circles. Those are your influencers. Shane Donovan was another one that had one of those. We're gonna also get into the people who were the first to retweet the concept, because those people are probably close as well. So, how do you get in on the event? It's an exclusive event. However, you still have to apply to be part of it. So, from what I understand, is that it's not wait for your invitation in the mail, and if you don't get one, just consider yourself not invited. I think you have to reach out and be like, hey, how do I get in on this? And they go, well, if you're super exclusive and you're very nice to me, maybe we can find a spot for you, maybe not, no promises. And then you wait patiently for 2 weeks, and then it slides into your mailbox. I don't know how exactly people are being picked for this event or what the goal is, but there's a lot of secrecy around it. And you won't know who's been accepted until May 26th. So if you do apply, you have to agree to a non-disclosure agreement saying that under no circumstances will you disclose to anybody that you've been part of the show. So this is similar to like if you were on a reality TV show. You cannot tell anybody about...
It's all pre-recorded and everything's all set up and done. By the time you get home, you're not allowed to talk about it because it won't air for the next 6 months.
That's right. You cannot spoil any of the stories that happen there. So if you spoil anything, they'll sue the shit out of you. Now these guys, they can't sue the shit out of you, but I purposely did not want to sign an NDA because it's a lot more fun, in my opinion, to just speculate about what's going on.
Facts.
So I want to have fun with it. I want to have fun.
Here's what I think. I think the 18 spots, right? So if you were to reach out, say you were interested, you apply for this thing. I think that those, again, you don't know if you get in until you get in, right? I think it doesn't matter who fucking tries to do this because the 18 people are probably already picked.
I don't think they are.
Well, I mean, I think they have a list of people they'd like to participate, but I don't know if they have already finalized their list.
Correct.
Maybe somebody's not available or someone's not interested or whatever, but I bet they have a list already.
I'm willing to bet you half of that bracket is already filled.
Half, yes. It's
I'm
probably
willing to bet.
Half of the people are probably friendlies with the creator, and I see Matt Knox is saying that he's saying he was followed, and a lot of people were followed when the account was first created. A few people were probably given invitations, but there's probably some at-large invitations because it's nice to bring in people who may be outside the bubble. Somebody's got to lose this thing, but people also have to promote it, and you're going to do much better off if you cast a wide net.
Question.
Yeah.
Would I be off base by saying that I have a pretty far reach within the game?
No, absolutely not. Which is why it's shocking that you weren't around. You weren't involved early on.
So here's what this tells me, and it's not rocket science. Obviously, I have some very, very heated detractors that for whatever reason continue to do their thing. It's obviously got to be somebody in that circle. I'm just keeping it real.
Probably.
Because why wouldn't somebody reach out? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But I could be wrong. I just think that I know a setup when I see one, and this kind of looks like a setup. The more you get into it, and the more details are uncovered with it, it just sounds iffy.
No, it does feel like a trap to me. And I see in the chat here, Knox is saying that Suplex Island will blow this thing right out the box. And I know OCW is supposed to have survival of the fightiest. There have been other island survival ideas pitched around. Fight New York was supposed to go on an island on their 4th season. So this island concept is something that we've heard a few times, but hasn't really been delivered in this form before. I feel like somebody's taking a piss here, and I'm curious to see who walks into it. It's going to be a lot of fun, no doubt about that.
I mean, it is for the people involved in it, no doubt. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck.
I'm willing to bet that if you applied and you said, "Hey, I'd really like to be in this," you're in.
I don't.
I would almost guarantee it, but I also don't think that you should.
No. I think it's pretty safe to say that a lot of the stuff with EFED I don't cover unless I'm talking to you guys. I'd rather stick to my own shit.
Well, I mean, the way you should look at this is a super show.
It is.
And we
It
do we want to promote super shows, which is why I'm 100% behind what they're doing here. I think it's creative, and I think they put a lot of work into this, and there's a lot of coordination done, a lot of communication behind the scenes. That I hope that this works out the way that they have it designed. I remember with World Series of Wrestling, I had an end goal before I had the beginning, and I think that's where they are on this as well. They know the desired finish that they want. So now they have to railroad everybody to that point.
Well, and they're not stupid either. I mean, they know that this show is looked at by a lot of people in the community and in the game. And what are we doing? We're talking about it. That's exactly what they wanted us to do, and here we are doing it, promoting the event, which is fine. That's what we're here to do. But it's
But we ain't no shills.
there you go.
We just talking shit.
No, I'll shill for it. I'm fine. I'm not too proud to.
I'm okay with it. I hope
All
that
right.
it's
Well,
successful.
fine.
I hope that they get what they're wanting from it. They obviously have put the time and effort into thinking about the concept. Have taken the time and the effort to recruit the people that they wanted to recruit to help push the product.
Yep.
And I mean, these are all facts of running a successful show. I mean, anybody that's done a super show and has been behind the curtain on a super show and has ran a super show knows that these are all key components to be successful. There's no doubt in my mind that if there is a product, that it should be good. It's going to be good. If it's a ruse, well then shame on everybody, especially us for dedicating time to it. I don't think it's a ruse. I don't think that that's a thing. I do think that there's intent to follow through with this. At least I hope.
Yeah, you're going to get results here. So if the fear is that this is going to get everybody worked up and then nothing's going to come out of it, I don't think that's the case. I think what you're more likely to get is you think you're going to get one thing and you get something different but better. And it becomes the most memorable thing from this year. Now, that's a tall order. They have taken a lot on their plate by selling it this way and involving this many people. I hope that they get it right. All right, so let me pitch a little bit more of this. The format here, and Chris, you can tell me if you've ever seen this before. It's a blind format, so you don't know who your opponent is, and you've got two role plays. The first one, you don't know who your opponent is. You have to role play about your arrival on the island. And the second role play, you know who your opponent is, which tells me that something happens between May 7th and May 21st where shit just gets turned around backwards.
No, I haven't role played like that. I have role played blind before, where you didn't know who your opponent was. You had a list of people, and you just had to go. I mean,
I like
it's
the
kind of
prompt idea though. Like, it's interesting.
that takes me back to Fight, because Fight always had writing prompts with their role plays. Every program had a different writing prompt. You didn't have to use the writing prompt, but it was there for you as a tool. I mean, there's a lot of interesting dots, if you will,
it does smell an awful lot like Fight, right? I think you've got some of the same people involved. You've got that island idea, which had been floated before, and the style. It's a very clean website. Fight had a very nice website as well. Maybe I'm just giving them a lot of free promotion here. I wasn't in Fight, but I was a fan from afar. I would not be surprised if this is the same group of people. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. So I think we should try to crack the case here on who's behind it. And I think maybe the best way to do that would be to look at Arcadia's tweets and go back as far as we can and see who were the first people to retweet.
Inspector Sauce is on the fucking case.
That's
guys.
right.
I'm so proud of him right now. Like, this is exactly how I attack things.
Inspector Sauce.
So I have to commend them for just floating this idea out there and teasing it. They have this logo which they superimpose over the pictures.
That was weeks ago too.
So March 11th, the most exclusive event of the year. Some people are like, well, if it's hard to get, I want it. I don't want to wear something unless somebody had to suffer to make it and get it.
How many retweets did that one get?
Just one.
Okay.
Want to see who retweeted it? One quote.
Sure.
Oh, son of a bitch.
You're blocked. Ha.
Whoever it was has got you blocked.
No, it's not me. It has us blocked.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
So eat that.
I love it.
I may be an asshole, but I'm not the only asshole.
There you go.
That's all right. We'll crack the case. Seb is the first one. So we had seen Seb's name before, and I mean, if you have to pick someone who's elite in the game, Seb is probably one of the first names. At least in my book. You know how I am with Seb. I've got a poster of him on my ceiling. Love me some Seb. There were a couple retweets of this one. Oh, son of a bitch!
Blocked again.
We're gonna get there. We're taking the long route there.
If you don't see what I'm saying here, I mean, come on.
I am also blocked. I am also blocked.
What can you say? It's very exclusive. So exclusive that I can't even see what it is. So Johnny Back is here a couple days later, and a couple raised eyebrows, 2 raised eyebrows. It's like a rock eyebrow, I think. And okay, still exclusive. Let's see who the likes are. Ryan Keto, Serena Riot. Here's that Reina. Give you a like here. Vodka Black. We'll give Vodka a like as well. Azurine Vebens. So these are the people who are very active on Twitter. The people who are most likely to promote your event. My guess would be that whoever is running Arcadia reached out to these folks and said, "Hey, can you retweet? Can you help promote this thing?" And they said, "Sure, I'd love to," because they've all been very nice people to me, and they are the same people I would reach out to if I was running my own event.
Fair enough.
There you go. There's Vodka really getting in on it here. So I think Vodka is game. Whatever you need, I'll help put it over. So I don't think she's behind the whole thing here. But here's another one. Nathaniel Dixon is on board. Another World Series of Wrestling guy. You see a lot of overlap between this event and World Series of Wrestling. So proud of my people here. And I don't know Reina, which makes me think that she's probably involved. Do you guys know this handler at all?
Nope.
I think we're gonna learn a little bit about them. Got a YouTube channel. Oh, it's a pretty nice Titantron video. I'm sure she appreciates the free plug here. All right, that's a little too much for me. All right, we're gonna skip. All right, well, hey, nice job with the Tron video. Gotta find out who this is. I don't see any feds listed. This is probably somebody's alt character, would be my guess. And Knox says, "Hey, she's on Suplex Island. She's cheating on you. She's just an island hopper." I almost said something regrettable. I'm getting better though, biting my tongue.
We're not on After Dark right now, right?
Right. All right, let's look at the likes here. Here we go. Tony Savage getting in on the action. Like there's nothing to the tweet. It's a picture of something fancy and calling it exclusive. Why would you like it unless you were paid to like it, or unless you were convinced to like it? This is the best picture. They should have led with that one. Now it's beautiful.
That is pretty good.
Azurine Vebens is all over this. And if you know Vebens, you know that the handler is an idea person. She's the person behind Kayfabe Airlines, as well as a bunch of other fictional companies. This would not surprise me at all to have her a part of that. She's from some weird island nation, so it fits the mold. This is where it gets intriguing.
Oh, boy.
We've got Devlin here. I'm intrigued, Arcadia. So what does that tell you? Brendan, not somebody that runs in the same circles as most of the other handlers.
That's true.
Chris, are you still with us?
I'm with you. I don't have anything to say.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I don't have nothing to say about that cat.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting because he's not completely shitting on it, which is surprising because that's kind of what you would expect.
A little bit, yeah.
Saying he's intrigued, which is suspicious to say the least.
Well, he has cross ties to some of the promoters, so it makes sense. Maybe he's just promoting like everybody else is.
Could be. Trey Bouget getting involved here, calling it a Plex-clusive. I don't know what that means. I think that's an ode to Suplex Island because, well, he's part of Suplex Island, so I think he's taking a shot there. Right. So then people start chiming in here about, well, you're following me, so I guess I will be involved. And then we start getting traction here where people start role playing on it and start using it because it's becoming a thing. So let's go.
It only took them 8 days to get that kind of a response out of it.
So let's look at the folks that they're following. And this will give you an idea of who they wanted to be part of this event, right? Easiest way to get somebody to look at your stuff is just give them a follow and then they'll check it out. And that's what we've got here. Now, please don't mind me if you're watching from home and you see a lot of bubbles are not followed. We should probably go through and follow this whole list here. Most of the names that I recognize were at the bottom of this list. And I don't know what order they're sorted in.
Usually Twitter followers are sorted in the order that you followed them.
So why don't we start at the bottom then?
I saw a couple of blue circles there.
So starting right at the bottom, God. They followed God first. So that's
good. Good for them. They had their priorities straight.
And then you've got Denzel Porter, next to nobody but God. Okay, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Todrick.
And then Bobby, yeah.
Everybody loves
Fair
Todrick. You got Peter Vaughn, Serena Riot, Austin, who's another Todrick character, Cult. So that's a tip off there. Makes you think it's somebody who's in Cult, somebody who's involved in Cult. Could even be Casanova English.
What's the crossover rate from Fight and Cult?
I think it's like 50-50.
So the reality of that is probable?
Probable, yeah. Yeah, so if this does turn into Nightmare Island like I expect it to turn into, that would be par for the course for Cult to do something like that. And they are a once a month EFED, so if anybody had time to put together something, it would be a once a month cat. So something to think about. I give Casanova English a follow. You see, he's got the blue circle here.
His writing is really good.
Yeah, he was part of the World Series of Wrestling. He was an OG, and he was very good. Ricky Rodriguez, Lissy Hope, they're on board. Myojin is not somebody I've been friendly with. We'll give him a follow anyway. Nice. Jinxie, another, I think that's a Terra Phoenix. Jinxie and Terra. Got both of them signed in there. So that's kind of a tip-off to me that that the handler's been approached. Like, hey, I'm doing this thing. Could you get on board? Here's CCPE coming in here with Splat. Harvey Marks. I saw Harvey in the chat a little bit earlier. Harvey, it's good to see you again. And Kayfabe Airlines. Definitely. Chris, here you are as well. So then they start getting into all the promoters. Here are TIA and the Orange Circle. I'm kind of taking a little shot here at the Blue Circle here by doing the original Fyre Fest.
Softball got his shovel and dug in for the fight.
I'm wise to what's going on. I get it. I respect the hustle, right? It's creative and proud of them for that. And here we, and you've got a bunch more blue circles here. I mean, 120 people were invited, and it's everybody. It's everybody that you know.
Yeah, that was kind of a list of names. Yeah, that was
there you are, John. There's John Cable. The list. We'll give Level Up a little follow here.
Oh, wait, they followed me?
Yeah. They followed everybody who's active. That's how it looks.
I can tell you who they didn't follow.
Who do they not follow?
Keep going.
We can't give Dickie a follow. See one. Who are you? Just spill the beans. Who are we looking for here?
Oh, we're looking for Chris Page. We're not looking for.
Oh, we passed you, bud. You were way down there before I was invited.
That was the podcast
page.
No. You're misinformed. You're right here, bud.
Where?
You're right here. You're right before me.
Oh shit! I sure am, but I'm not following them. I'll just be clear.
Shame on you. Follow for follow, my man.
That is not a proper nope.
That can fuck all the way off.
Follow for follow is not the play.
No? Oh. Boo. That makes me sad.
All the way off of that.
It's great for affiliating. It's horrible for building a community.
Oh. That makes the baby Jesus cry. I don't know why you guys got to be like that.
Sometimes I do that, man. Sometimes I make
we got some people throwing out some suspect lists over in our chat. I'm not going to put them on blast, but
yeah. Well, if
you can look over there and see it, it's fine.
If you had to guess, on a culprit here, who would it be?
I think it's a collaboration between a couple of different people.
But there's one. There's one behind it. There's always one.
I don't think there is. I think there's a committee.
I think there's several people. I don't think it's just
one person. This is a storyline that several people came up with, and they've all put this thing together, and they've figured out a way to play it out, and they're putting it together.
I still think that there's. I'm gonna guess. I think it's Johnny Backus because the meme was he was too fast with that meme.
It was pretty on too. Like that was epic.
It seemed to me like
It was
that's something
funny.
he had been sitting on for a while. Could not wait to get it out there, and it was on point. I think he showed his cards a little too much, little too easily there. So that would be my guess, and I think it's a safe bet. It certainly fits his character. If this turns into the Nightmare Island, which I think it will, that would be him like bringing all the elite to an island and then humiliating them and making them eat like dirt. And
What if it's Necropolis's show later this year?
ooh, I like that one. It could be the Necropolis show.
Because that would be something that Necropolis would do. That's right on fucking par for theme.
Oh, I like that theory.
And they've got a show coming up here, but then they haven't announced what's happening like later. And you said that they wasn't doing anything until what, May?
May 26th. Nothing will be revealed until
Yeah,
the 26th. So you won't know who's in it.
that gives
You won't
them
know the
time-
premise.
That gives
Nothing.
them plenty of time. Yeah, that gives them plenty of time to figure out the storyline that they got going on right now, and then jump on this other thing in the next cycle.
So what happens before this event is we've got
Interesting.
Ravenstock coming up,
Yep.
and we've got the Splat TV, the Carnage Carnival. That's also right before this. That's the Calamity Chamber event. And then we got this. So I've got some other news for you guys, and this is also speculation. So take this with a grain of salt. But we've heard recently. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to break in on you. I am about 15 minutes too late on this, but I just want to say, Matt, I see it, and I believe you're right.
Oh,
You want to fill us in on what we're talking about here?
Off air.
Off air? Okay. I'll wait for it.
interesting. We may have cracked the case.
I'm just telling you what I see, what was just sent to me, only further states my point and my case behind it. I don't think it's Johnny. I think that I'm correct, and I think that I'll be proven correct. How about that?
So what you're saying is you think there's a cruise ship nearby that is parked out the shore is what you're getting at.
I just think I know who's behind the event, and
So-
and I wish them the best of luck.
No cruise ship. Well, some news this week. There are going to be a lot of handlers who have some free time, and it's probably unrelated, but we've heard that PWE is closing its doors, and that brings a close to season 2. They could reopen, so that there's no clear indication of when it would reopen or how long it would be before then. But there was a post earlier this week on Twitter saying that it is shutting down. So a lot of the folks who were involved early on with this project also involved over there. I don't think this is a rollover of that product into this product. I think it's a coincidence, but it's peculiar. Any thoughts on on that?
Didn't they just reopen for season 2?
About 3 or 4 months ago, they did. Yeah.
Right. I was curious about that. I thought I saw that like not that long ago. I was like, wow, that was a short run.
Well, they all have some very good designers over there that can do graphics. So it would not be shocking to hear that they are involved in this in some way. I believe the content on this is going to be beautiful, at least on the front end. I still just have a really bad feeling in my gut that it's going to go sideways real quick, and I'm just not. I'm not going to take the bait, but a lot of people will. Okay, the second bit of information is I've heard that maybe OCW might be closing their doors this week. I've heard that there's some late results, and I I don't know if anybody's heard from the Fed head in a little while, but if that proves to be true, and it may not be true, I'm speculating, but that would
Oh,
free up a
speculate.
lot of time for some folks as well. And remember, they were
Yeah,
supposed to
that's
do
two
an
whole
island.
rosters.
Yeah, so that would be 2 whole rosters. OCW was supposed to do an island event, the survival of the fightiest, and that got delayed. So could this be just the reincarnation of survival of the fightiest, just with a glow up on the front end?
Possibly, but I think we've got some leads in other places that are a little more solid than that.
Well, we would be remiss to not at least have 3 different theories running at the same time. So
Oh, I'm pretty sure there's more than that right now.
could be. Well, I hope that whoever's running it appreciates the fact that we're covering it and trying to hype this thing up, because it seems like a unique idea. And
I like the idea. I like the premise. And if it turns out to be like a Horror Island story that comes out in the results, I'm here for it. I think it would be a good read.
I wish whoever's running it the best of luck. I hope it turns out perfect.
it sure is pretty on the front end. I would advise people to watch closely at how they do it, because they've tried something unique, and now you have the attention of a lot of folks. Followed by Necropolis. Here we go. That was John's.
I'm just saying it seems like if they're gonna do some twisted shit at the end of it and make it this weird story of elitists stuck on an island and a horror perception, that seems like something that Necropolis would be all about.
Yeah, I mean, I could be way off base, right? This could be an exclusive event,
Yeah,
and it could be everything it's billed to be, and everybody who's there will prove that they're better than everybody else. That's very possible. I think that's hard to do. I think a lot of people would take offense to that, and I don't think that's the way that they're going. I don't think that's the story people want. But I don't know.
I mean,
Just like Devlin
maybe
said,
it is.
I am intrigued, to say the least.
Oh, just looking at me, waiting for me to say something.
Yeah, no.
And there's a lot that I would love to say, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, say something to get us in trouble here, Chris.
I mean, I can do that at any point in time.
it's our first stream. Let's do it.
We'll wait for stream number 2.
All right.
I do. In all sincerity, whoever's behind this event, I wish them nothing but the best. I hope that they get what they want out of it, and that the end result is beautiful.
John, you have any parting words before we sign off?
No, I just want to reiterate what Chris said here. In all honesty, and we've always said this every time we've gotten together and we've talked about someone else's product. It only makes the hobby stronger to have more successful products, to have more successful competing companies doing shows where rosters get to pick where they're active and what themes they want to write with, and having new takes on what we do is what we innovate. And I think that this is an innovation in how a show's put together and what it turns into. And I'm here to see how it results and what they do with the premise. I think it's interesting, and I'm here for it. I don't currently have the time to be involved, but I'll watch it for sure and see what happens.
I don't think we're exclusively invited to that.
No, I don't think that I am invited to shit.
Well, they followed all 3 of us. That tells me that the door is open.
It tells me that they want to hit anybody that has reach, and we happen to have some. Even if it isn't as big as other pages, we still have a lot of reach. And realistically, whenever I open my mouth, someone's out there looking at it. So
could be.
True. People are waiting to see you melt down again.
Oh, for sure. That's a countdown. I bet there's betting pools on it with calendars, and it's like a birth pool.
All right, so John, I'm going to let you take us home, but before I do that, let me give a parting word here. If you're watching on the live stream, stick around. We're going to be doing WrestleMania predictions. If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to want to hop over to the prediction show, which will be in a separate video. I want to say to whoever's handling Arcadia, we appreciate the invite. You reached out to me early on, asked me if I wanted to be involved, so I appreciate the inclusion. I ultimately decided to stay in the dark on what's going on here, but in a journalistic effort, I did reach out to them for comment. They did provide some information before we went live here, and I hope that we've done a sufficient job of promoting the event, giving it the respect that it deserves. So I'm a big fan. Keep doing what you're doing. If you're participating in the event, I hope you have a great time, and I would love to come back and talk about this again later. So, John, why don't you send everybody off?
Well, guys, it has been a pleasure to sit here and speculate, and that is exactly what we have done on the events that Arcadia is bringing to us in the months to come. But if you guys are here on this live stream, go down below. Don't forget to check that little heart box so you can follow the channel and get notified when we go live next time. And if you're here on YouTube, guys, go down below, hit that like and subscribe. Drop those savage elbows right there on that ding bell so you can keep up to date on all the products coming here at the Overtop Network. We try to bring you interesting and thought-provoking content here on the channel. We're always trying something new. We've got lots of new products coming up, so don't forget to go down there and click all those links down below to follow us out on Twitter and to get up to date with all the content coming out here in the days to come. It has been a pleasure. I love each and every one of your faces, and we will see you again tomorrow.